Well, it's between her and her husband, and that's what marriage is.
Okay. I like
You, your spouse, and God.
Okay.
When the both of you agree on something, stick to it. Eventually, other people will find a way to adjust.
So how many hours of premarital coaching do you think a couple needs?
It differs from couple to couple. Some people are really, really immature and they want to get married. So you have to, be calm, be understanding with them. Sometimes in premarital counseling, they quarrel, they raise their voices, they argue, which is okay. So I'm just in my corner
So you just watch
and I'm
them.
watching them, trash things out. And I say, this is going to come up very often in your marriage. The most important thing is learning how not to raise your voices, deal with these issues, talk it out, understand where both of you are coming from, and then resolve these things. Some people, they're really mature enough. You give them, 4 to 5, 6 sessions and they're okay. But some people, some people I just pray, Lord, help them understand they're not ready.
Yes.
So
someone is married. A couple that we've counseled them, we've coached them. They're married. The husband's libido is off the roof. The woman's libido is under the basement. What do you do?
So most of the women that I have worked with one-on-one have gone from
under the table.
Is it table? Maybe under the ground.
Yeah.
To the husband's announced care. Like, what happened to my wife?
Really?
Yes. I always tell my women that orgasm is your right.
Hey. Orgasm
so when you,
is your right.
Yes.
It's
so
like
when you realize that
rights type thing.
Exactly.
Okay.
So when you realize that every woman has the capacity to orgasm, to enjoy sex, to feel sexy about herself, then you begin to work your way through it, And we've also had issues where they're not so close after everything. We try and encourage them to, add a little bit of spice around it. So you can do oral sex, you can include some, vibrators and stuff like that. It's totally healthy. Oh, well.
Okay. So when you came in, you were telling me that you were sexually abused when you were younger.
Yep.
And that affected your sex life when you got married. How did you work around that? Did you get coaching yourself, or how did you and your husband work around that?
So first of all, while we were dating, I was very open about everything.
Okay.
So I told him, and before him, I had told 2 other people, and they couldn't deal with it.
Right.
So this is why it's important to talk about these issues whilst you're dating. A man who won't take it while you're dating won't take it when you're married.
When you're married, okay, cool.
So
you spoke to 2 guys and they couldn't take it.
Yes.
Okay.
They just couldn't understand that, you were raped at some point or something, which is fine, So with my husband, we talked about it, and like I said earlier, talked about some deep stuff also that I haven't told anyone.
Yeah.
But him accepting me the way I am and trying to help me walk through it was one of the things that helped me. And also, like I said, initially sex was a struggle for me in my marriage. He understood that it's a reaction from what I experienced as a child, because I was raped at age 7. Yeah, I know. Between 7 to 10. At 10 years old, I found my voice. I fought back and I ran away, and that was the end. That was the last time anybody abused me. So my husband understood, because when we're sleeping and he tries to touch me, I didn't know that unconsciously had built some form of defense. So I would punch him in my sleep.
The little girl in you
would punch, like literally, and I wouldn't even know, because I was doing it in my sleep, and then I wake up, the guy that went to bed with me smiling is angry, frowning, and then one day I noticed his lip was swollen. I'm like, babe, what happened? He said, you hit me in your sleep. Like, you almost every time you hit me in your sleep. So we started working through it. We would study, we'd go online, get materials, because at that time we didn't even know who to speak to.
Right.
Who do you tell? Who would help you get through this psychological effect of rape? But I had my husband. I had somebody who is open, somebody who understood me, somebody who is kind. He's just the most beautiful person.
I know.
You know.
I know him. I met him before I met you.
I
He's
know
our
our husband.
He's my work husband and he's your home husband.
I know. So he helped me through that process. It was still a struggle until about 3 years ago. We eventually encountered a pastor and, you know, walked us through it, allowed me cry. So apparently all these years I haven't even cried.
You hadn't cried about
Yes.
it? Yes.
So my husband was holding me and I was crying, like crying, crying. And there was this release at the end of it all. And, you know, I started looking for ways to start enjoying sex. So, I mean, this thing for life, right? I might as well learn to have fun.
And I love how you've turned it around and now you are using that pain as a point of service to other women and other, it's such a beautiful, I get goosebumps when I think about it. It's amazing. And today it was your husband's birthday a couple of days ago.
Yes.
And there's a surprise party for him today.
Yep.
So, you know, when we get married, we should always sort of surprise each other.
Yes, have fun. So one of the things that one of my programs, online programs, is what I call 21 Days Revamp Me Challenge. So most of these women get so busy with being a wife and the mom that they forget to be a girlfriend to their husband. Being a girlfriend means you're intentional. The things we used to do when we're dating, when surprise him, call, how you doing, text, do all these little things, right? Leave him a note somewhere. We go and do all of those things, and we start doing all of those things again, appreciating him, just being babies around him, because in every man, there's a father, there's a baby, and there can be anything. There can be a king in there, there can be God knows what in the negative side. So who you or how you respond to him determines who responds
comes
to
out.
you. Exactly.
Yeah.
So sometimes he's trying to be playful and you're just being serious with the kids. You know, so it's important to be intentional. Find time to bond. My husband and I will go out alone every Wednesday. No kids allowed. We don't talk about business. We don't talk about parents. We don't talk about our 4 children.
What do you
nothing.
talk about?
We just talk about us. And you don't want to see the kind of text messages we share, WhatsApp message. You must be, it's true.
Yeah.
So sometimes when I'm pissed and I pick up the phone, I just go through our messages. I'm laughing
And
like
you're
a new
laughing?
bride.
Exactly,
You know, because we can just be babies and be silly and be naughty at times. It's really important to remember to do those things.
So with some of your programs, people can actually revamp their marriage. They can rekindle their fire.
Absolutely.
So we're going to share all those links. And, you know, when they give us some testimonies, we will thank God for this episode. Thank you so much for coming on Makosi Today. I love
you,
love
Makosi.
you.